Hello, my beloved audience. Welcome to my demonstration. We are going to learn how to make a dream catcher from strings and sticks. The thing I like to do first is pick if I'm going to wrap my hoop, which could be anything. I like to use wood, particularly jasmine. It keeps a lovely scent and stays the shape you tie it in for years. You don't even have to pluck your branch to make the shape that you want. When they're green, you can shape them, braid them together, and let them continue to grow. So when you're ready to harvest it, you just clip it off. Your hoop's already treated, it's already ready. I suggest making your tail first. There is no rules with a dream catcher, it's all feeling. I chose red and green feathers because I like their color, they're natural. For natives, we like to bring in the elements, so the feathers, air. I picked flosses that I thought complemented the wood and the feathers, and I braided it together previously. The easiest way is like tie it around a leg of your table or something heavy. Since this isn't going to anyone, I use my teeth. So you make your tail first because you generally glue it, and you want that glue to be drying while you're building the rest of the dream catcher. So when you're done, you can just assemble your tail, attach it, and then you're finished. It can be frustrating to have to still do the tail because you've put your enthusiasm, your emotion into the dream catcher. So then this is like titling your story before you wrote it. You don't know what it's called until it's over. So do the tail first. I just made a simple knot around my feathers to hold them together. And now I'm using a lovely natural bead because I'm going to put it around the feathers and the string with a dot of glue to hold it all together. Now that's not necessary, but I think the knot around the feathers and the glue is not attractive. I like the bead better. If you have trouble threading, you can simply take your string and put it through a needle, which is what I do sometimes, and that makes it much faster, but again, not necessary. I call the beads I put around the feathers a collar because again, it's covering up that knot. Another thing to do when you're picking how you're going to connect your decorations, if you want to call it, is always go long. It's easier to clip than it is to add. However, if you do make a tail or a braided fabric that is too short, just unbraid it about an inch or so, and then you can braid your extension on it. This is another reason why I like to make my tails early because it can be frustrating, so we'll get back to it. You do not have to wrap your hoop. It does not have to be round, traditional or round or teardrop, but I like to take the floss or yarn, whatever I'm using, that's the color of my tails and handle, and just symmetrically wrap the hoop. I think it's attractive. It brings my colors together. It also lets me commune with my materials. So when you start a dream catcher, you might have a lot of things in your mind, but it's not going to turn out what you think it is. It's kind of going to make itself. You're just the vehicle to its creation. So you just continue to wrap it around as broad or as narrow as you like. I like broad because I don't want it to be overpowering. I just want it to be an accent, a pretty accent, a nice wine red and real foresty green. So for the weave itself, I use the sinew and the floss to make a knot around my connectors when it's a branch, so you know that they're not already connected. I didn't braid it together, which you can do. And then I'm going to wrap it around in figure eights, both of them, several times. It adds support to your connector, so it's less likely to break. If your hoop does break, you can use sinew to wrap it and glue it together, and then if that's unattractive, you can always put a decoration there, a feather or something of that nature. So your weave is very important. There's only 5 weaves known on the planet for about 2,000 years. I've tried to create new weaves, but I have not succeeded. Pull your sinew straight, wrap it under, and then just like you tie your shoe, go behind it. And then you're going to continue doing that for the entire hoop. I like to keep my sinew in a little ball so it's less everywhere like it is right now. Oh, another great aspect is instead of scissors, use clippers. They're smaller, easy to maneuver, and only cost $1. So we've wrapped our hoop with floss. We're tying ourselves up with our sinew, and you're going to do this when you make your own quite regularly. It happens. And we're just going to weave in and out like I taught you originally. And remember, one of the great things is this is therapy. So you don't have a timeline. This isn't marketing. This is you teaching you how to do something that's fun for you. I like to keep a little bowl. This was a nacho cheese bowl at one time to keep my garbage in so that I don't have a mess for later. I have my beads in a bead cup. If you don't want to buy that kind of stuff, like myself, I do not want to buy that kind of stuff. It's a little mouthwash cup that came with a travel mouthwash. Anything like that will do. My vision is awful, so are you likely to tie yourself together if you have good vision? Yes. So again, around, under on the inside, all the way around to your desired length. When you get back to the throat, which is the top of your dream catcher, you are simply going to take your sinew, which you can put it on the needle. Pull down your very first weave, that's your first knot, place it in the middle, just like you did around the branch. And pull it through. Now you're going to go under and around, just like you did, and it makes kind of like a little knot. But not really, it's a weave. So you can take it out. And that is how you make a dream catcher.